How did this become this? No, actually, that's the wrong question. The question is, how did this 5,000 euro house become that? Because 11 months earlier, this was not a dream vacation home. It was a forgotten building hidden in the woods, and the guy who bought it could not even find it. For 2 days, he searched for it somewhere in the hills of rural Croatia, armed with little more than a rough location on a map and a promise from a friend. There was no address, no sign, no road. Most people would have seen that as a warning. But for Justus Reid, it was only the beginning. And what started as a desperate attempt to find a place to stay would eventually become one of the most remarkable DIY transformations on YouTube. But to understand how this became that, we first have to understand how bad things really were. At the time, Justus wasn't looking for a renovation project. After years of traveling, creating content, and living an unconventional life, he found himself exhausted, uncertain, and short on money. This wasn't a wealthy investor looking for a challenge. This was a man whose backup plan was surprisingly simple. Buy a tent, move into the woods, live off-grid for the summer. Then a friend offered him a house, 5,000 euros, hidden somewhere in the Croatian countryside. Without fully understanding what he was getting into, he bought it. Only afterward did he realize that finding the house would be the first of many puzzles he would have to solve. And every one of those puzzles would help answer the question, how did this become that? When he finally discovered the property, it looked less like a house and more like something the forest was trying to erase. Trees crowded the walls, vegetation swallowed the pathways. The structure had been abandoned for years. Inside was dust, decay, and evidence of decades of neglect. Most people would have walked away, but the building itself wasn't the biggest problem. The real problem was access. The property sat on a steep hillside, hundreds of meters from vehicle access. There was no proper road. Every bag of cement, every roof tile, every plank of wood, every tool would have to travel upward. This wasn't just a renovation project. It was a logistic nightmare. And looking at the finished house today, it's hard to imagine how any of the materials reached this place. So how did he solve that puzzle? Most people think construction is about building. It's not. Construction is mostly about moving things. The first step was accepting reality. Large construction trucks were useless here. Materials had to be transported using tractors, trailers, and small loads. Every delivery became a project of its own. The mountain was adding a tax to everything: time, fuel, labor, money. Before a single wall could be repaired, you first had to solve the problem of getting the materials there. Just when it seemed the logistics problem was difficult enough, another challenge appeared. The house wasn't the only thing falling apart. The mountain was too. The steep hillside was vulnerable to erosion and instability. Heavy rains could slowly undermine future construction. The land itself had to be stabilized. But how? The answer came in the form of giant wire baskets filled with stone, known as gabion walls. They perform three crucial jobs. They stop soil from sliding downhill, they allow water to drain naturally, and they create stable construction platforms. Without them, parts of the property would slowly shift over time. They are not glamorous. In fact, nobody dreams about buying rocks. Yet those rocks became one of the most important investments in the entire project because before the house could be beautiful, the mountain had to stop trying to slide downhill. This is usually where stories like this end. The reality becomes too difficult, the costs become too high, dreams become too complicated. At first, it seems impossible. The mountain hadn't changed. The road hadn't appeared. The costs were growing. Then, something happened that no engineering plan could have predicted. People started showing up. Neighbors, tradesmen, friends, strangers. And maybe that's when this stopped being one man's project. What began as a lonely survival plan slowly became a community effort. The roof was rebuilt, windows were installed, doors were replaced, electrical systems were designed, plumbing systems were added, and little by little, the abandoned structure started looking less like a ruin and more like a home. Let's pause for a moment. 11 months earlier, this was an abandoned shack hidden beneath trees. Now it had a roof, working windows, running water systems under construction, electrical infrastructure being installed, and a growing community around it. The transformation was already remarkable. But the biggest puzzles were still ahead. One of the most fascinating parts of the renovation wasn't the construction, it was the infrastructure. The property had no municipality water connection, no utility company, no pipeline. So how do you get water to a house with no water supply? Most people never think about where water comes from. You turn a tap and water appears. Off-grid living changes that completely. Rainwater falls on the roof. The gutters collect it, pipes move it into storage tanks, the water is filtered, pumps distribute it throughout the house. Every shower, every sink, every toilet flush depends on rainfall. Every glass of water begins as rain. Water wasn't the only challenge though. The property also had no power grid, no utility company, no electrical connection. So how do you turn the lights on where no power lines exist? Many people think solar panels power a house directly. That's only part of the story. Solar panels generate electricity during daylight. The real magic happens in the batteries. During sunny periods, excess energy is stored. At night, the batteries take over. In this project, the system could provide power for several cloudy days. But there was a catch. Electricity wasn't unlimited. Hot showers, air conditioning, kitchen appliances, too much demand at once could overwhelm the system. Living off-grid isn't just about generating power, it's about managing it. The building was never designed for modern living. Originally, it served as a vineyard support structure. Every room required creativity. The attic became the perfect example. What was once dusty, neglected storage space slowly transformed into one of the most attractive rooms in the entire house. Looking at the final result, it's hard to believe it was once the same room. So how did he turn this into that? One of the cheapest ways to create living space is not building more space. It's reimagining existing space. Storage became accommodation, and new space became value. Great renovations aren't always about adding more. They're often about using what you already have more intelligently. But not every puzzle was dramatic. Some were hidden: moisture, condensation, mold, the enemy of countless old buildings. Walls had to be repaired, ventilation improved, damaged areas restored. It wasn't exciting, but it was real. And that's what made the project compelling. The audience wasn't watching perfection, they were watching problem solving, one puzzle at a time. Why mold appears? Mold needs very little: moisture, poor ventilation, and time. Successful renovations don't just make buildings look beautiful, they make them healthier. Ventilation, airflow, insulation, and moisture control are every bit as important as paint and furniture. By now, the original €5,000 purchase price had become almost meaningless. The project had grown into something much larger, including renovations. Justus invested roughly €75,000. When sponsor contributions, materials, equipment, and labor are considered, the total value approached €160,000 to €170,000, more than 30 times the purchase price. Financially, the numbers didn't make much sense. But perhaps we have been asking the wrong question. The real value of this project couldn't be measured in euros. There is the most important thing built: relationships. At the beginning of this story, we asked one question: how did this €5,000 house become that? The answer was community. Because in the end, the most important thing built on that mountain wasn't the roof, it wasn't the deck, it wasn't the guest loft, it wasn't the solar system. It was the bond between the people who made it possible. And that may be worth more than every euro spent. When Justus bought this house, he thought he was purchasing a place to escape, a place to be alone, a place to survive. Instead, he built something entirely different: a community, a gathering place, a story. Because in the end, this wasn't really the story of a house. It was a story of how a desperate search for shelter became a place where people came together. And that's how this became that.
Love will hold us together, make us a shelter to weather the storm, and I'll be my brother's keeper, so the whole world will know that we're not